The air at Cape Citadel, Florida, was thick with the humid weight of an impending storm, but the true tempest brewed within its secure walls. A missile base designed to project immense power was suddenly, inexplicably silent. Its personnel frozen in place, their faces etched with a peculiar, helpless awe. Above them, a figure in a deep red and purple costume hovered, not with the aid of technology, but by sheer impossible will. Metal groaned, instruments sparked, and the very structure of the base seemed to bend to his unspoken command. This was the world's introduction to Magneto and his first declaration of war. It was not merely an act of defiance, it was a profound statement, an unmistakable assertion of a new order. Magneto, a mutant of unparalleled power, capable of wielding magnetic forces with terrifying precision, had taken control of a strategic military installation. His message was clear. Humanity, with its fear and its persecution of those like him, would no longer hold dominion. The age of mutants, he declared, had arrived, and their survival would be ensured by force if necessary. This was not the plea of the oppressed, but the chilling ultimatum of a revolutionary leader, convinced that only through superiority could his people find peace. Miles away, in a secluded mansion in Westchester, New York, Professor Charles Xavier felt the psychic tremors of Magneto's audacious act. Xavier and Magneto had once been friends, brothers in their shared mutant identity, bound by a common dream of a better world. But their paths had diverged tragically. Where Xavier envisioned coexistence, a bridge of understanding between humans and mutants, Magneto saw only an uncrossable chasm, deepened by generations of fear and violence. He believed humanity would always seek to control or destroy what it didn't understand, and that mutants could only truly be safe by asserting their dominance. This takeover of Cape Citadel was the stark, undeniable proof of that ideological schism. Xavier knew, with a heavy heart, that he could not allow this act of terrorism to stand. It would not only threaten countless lives, but would also cement humanity's fears, destroying any hope for his dream of peaceful integration. He turned to his first 5 students, his fledgling team of X-Men: Cyclops, Jean Grey, Beast, Iceman, and Angel. Young, inexperienced, yet filled with an earnest desire to use their gifts for good, they were about to face a power unlike anything they had ever imagined. A power wielded by a man who was once their mentor's dearest friend. The X-Men arrived at Cape Citadel with a mixture of trepidation and resolve. The scene before them was disquieting. The base eerily quiet, save for the hum of displaced metal and the silent, terrified soldiers. Magneto stood amidst his triumph, a figure of daunting power and grim determination. The confrontation that followed was swift and decisive, a brutal lesson for the nascent heroes. Magneto, with effortless grace, turned their own environment against them. Metal shrapnel flew, a powerful electromagnetic field disrupted their powers, and the sheer scale of his control over the base was overwhelming. Cyclops' optic blasts were deflected. Jean Grey's telekinetic grasp found no purchase. Beast's agility was hampered by shifting terrain. Iceman's constructs were shattered, and Angel found his wings useless against the intense magnetic currents. It became immediately clear that this was not merely a physical battle, but a clash of philosophies made manifest. Magneto's strength was not just in his power, but in his absolute conviction that he was right, that his path was the only path to mutant survival. He saw the X-Men not as adversaries, but as misguided children, clinging to a naive, dangerous fantasy. Yet, even in their initial defeat, the X-Men demonstrated their resolve. Though unable to defeat Magneto outright, they succeeded in disrupting his plans, creating enough chaos and resistance to force his hand. Magneto, perhaps seeing the futility of holding the base against continued resistance, or simply making his point, chose to withdraw. He vanished as quickly as he had appeared, leaving behind a profound silence, a battered missile base, and an indelible mark on the world. This first encounter was more than just a battle. It marked Magneto's powerful debut as a radical, uncompromising figure, a revolutionary leader willing to go to extremes to secure mutant dominance. And for the X-Men, it was their crucible, solidifying their purpose as protectors of both humanity and mutantkind, and as the embodiment of Xavier's dream. The ideological chasm between Xavier and Magneto, born from shared experience but vastly different conclusions, had been laid bare for all to see. It set the stage for decades of conflict, not just between heroes and villains, but between two opposing visions for an evolving species. The events at Cape Citadel truly cemented the profound, tragic relationship between Charles Xavier and Magneto. It was a confrontation that defined not only their respective paths, but also the very landscape of the mutant struggle. It reminds us that often the most compelling conflicts arise not from simple good versus evil, but from deeply held, opposing beliefs about the best way forward. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this pivotal moment. What do you think this first confrontation truly established about Magneto and the X-Men? Share your insights in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this reflection, consider subscribing for more journeys into the rich tapestry of these incredible stories.